Today's title is Start Your Own Revival. I was in a creative writing session this morning, and that was one of the topics we discussed, is reviving, yourself, reviving who you are in this moment and who you want to be moving forward. And before I get into what that can look like or what that means, I want to give you the definition for revival. And the definition for revival is an improvement in the condition or strength of something. And so I'm in this space where a lot of things are transitioning. There's a lot of change happening. There's a lot of growth happening. Thematically, this is my season of the Sankofa, the go back and get who you were before the trauma touched you, before the pain, before the hurt, before the betrayal. And in going back and getting that version of yourself, a lot of times you don't know what you're going back to get. And you're going back to get the essence of you, the essence of who you are. So you may not have had the time or the space to define who you are. So as you are reviving yourself and you're going back and you're getting yourself, you are taking control of your narrative. You are shifting the storyline to work in your favor, because we believe that all things work for the good of those who serve the Lord, and everything works out for my good. We don't just say those things. We have to believe those things. We have to embody those things. So when thinking about a revival, and this is, this is a season, this is a time for a personal revival. Even if you don't have something that you used to do, some habits, some likes, some joys, you can create them. Just because you didn't do something in the past, you may have spent, your whole childhood miserable and your early adult years miserable. And now you're in a space where you're just trying to figure it out. That's a great space to be, because now you get to tap into your inner child. Hi, I am him. You get to tap into your inner child and you get to say, okay, what would bring this version of myself joy? What would bring this version of myself peace and happiness? We're talking about starting your own personal revival, not waiting for a special time or to have the career and the job, but in this very moment, what can you do to bring yourself back to life? What can you do to feed yourself? What can you do to nourish yourself? And one of the things that you can do is you can imagine. You can imagine a life where everything works out in your good. You can imagine a life where you have the things that you desire. You don't have to actually have them for you to be able to put yourself in a imaginative or a daydream world where you are receiving those things. You have to see it before you can see it. And so when you are looking at ways to revive yourself, and while you're in this spirit or this season of transition, or you feel like you're transforming, you're not who you once were, but you're not quite sure who you want to be, or you have an idea about who you want to be, but you're still feeling iffy. Use that time of daydreaming to really imagine a life where everything works out in your good. Hi, Felicia. We're talking about starting your own personal revival, taking control of your narrative and using daydreaming and your imagination to get there. We may not always have the things that we want or we desire, but that doesn't mean that you can't create that space in your head until you actually fulfill that need, or that you can't picture yourself doing something different, even if you can't physically do it. So that's what we're working on this week in your personal transformation journey, is how can you revive who you once were? You can revive who you once were by taking control of the narrative, by defining yourself. Those labels that were put upon you, that were placed upon you, even the one a slave to a title, a slave to a job, you can be whoever you want to be. You can be free enough to be able to flow through life because it's your journey. You know, whatever expectations people have of you, take them, throw them away. Don't even have expectations for yourself. I mean, want it to be excellent, but this is your life. Like, you get to live it, and you should be able to control your narrative. We've all been through trauma. We've all been through heartbreak. We've all been through some type of betrayal. It's a part of the process. Is it the part of the process that we like? No, but it's a part of the process that helps build your character so that now that you have experienced those things, you can say, I didn't like that. And I don't want that in my future. So as you are imagining your life and you are challenging yourself to just daydream for 5 minutes, that thing that you didn't like, replace it with something that you do like. If you don't like the way you talk to yourself, if I put a microphone to your brain and it's a lot of negative chatter, then challenge yourself with positivity. Challenge yourself with optimism. If you know when you get around certain people, family members, friends, that you have to shrink yourself or you feel like you need to be on guard, get away from them. It's okay to isolate yourself. You don't have to be who you once were. This is your story. All right. My new tag is the Book of Priscilla because it's my life and I'm going to live it the way that I see fit. Not concerned about what people want, people expect, but things that bring me peace, joy, and happiness. So remember, we are reviving ourselves. We are creating our own personal revival. And the definition for revival is an improvement in the condition or the strength of something. So as you are revived, because before the trauma and the depression and the anxiety, you had a soul, you have an essence, and that essence isn't paranoid, isn't sad. That essence is joy and peace and love and happiness. And that's what we have to get back to. Yes, these things happen to us, but that was an experience. It doesn't have to be your lifestyle. So whatever it is, how small it is, if you can't physically do it, just take 5 minutes a day, while you're in the shower, while you're using the bathroom, take that time and just daydream and imagine your life as who you would like to be, as who you aspire to be. Every day we make a decision that puts us closer to who we want to be or further from who we want to be. We have that vision, so make the decision. Are you going to be the person that you claim you want to be, or are you going to stay where you are? The choice is yours, and nobody can make it but you. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. Be sure to follow, like, subscribe, and if you are looking for different resources for transformation, click the link in my bio and sign up for my email list, and you'll be added to 7 days of mind-body reset to get you started on this journey. Thank you for joining. God bless.